decider. You know that Anubis is going to be their map more than likely. I think this puts a lot of pressure on the side of Wildcards here to deliver like pretty early on. Like Mirage has to be theirs and they have to go in and maybe get this done in a 2-0 fashion.
That's what I was thinking. It kind of screams that it's one of those series where you have to take the back-to-back lops, instantly get into it with a 2-0 win, or it could get a whole lot scarier. We saw yesterday just how damaging BESTIA's Inferno is, but we'll start off on Mirage. For which team will this be an oasis? That's the question. BESTIA on the CT side, Wildcard setting up for a classic play towards A, but Noxy, he wanted to walk in and fight Vince. He's been beheaded.
So has JBA. A partner gift of a HE, tons of flashes. Buchholz going to be just hiding in the shadows, but it's Mayon that kicks into position. Sonic with 2. The player that comes into this event in fine form, didn't see it yesterday, and it puts Thomas in on the back foot. A player himself that is very good statistically speaking. He's going to just try and get aggressive here, get into the face of the T's, but Infinite repels him. Wildcard take the first pistol.
Oh, it started to slip away from them. You send in the man with the up. BA hits him with a sonic boom. Gives that round to Wildcard. Tasty pistol then, already coming out, scrapping into this one. It got a bit worrying as well, because BESTIA, if you're unfamiliar with their pistol game, it's very good. It's very sick, actually. It doesn't matter what they've got. P2000s, USPs, the Eagles, they are going to make it look absolutely disgusting.
I think I was looking at their stats yesterday before we casted, and they had something insane. Like on most of their maps, it's like an 80% pistol victory success. Yeah. So the other side of that, though, to play devil's advocate, is they're getting a lot of wins off the back of getting 2 pistols in the entire map. What happens when they don't get pistols? Do they still have the potential to withstand that early pressure? Well, the answer from Deco is hell yeah. Gets aggressive with the MP9, takes the kill, and backs off.
And that's their bread and butter into these sort of rounds, right? They're going to force up into it. They're going to try and take control off you early, catch you off guard a little bit, where potentially you're thinking, okay, it should be a little bit of an easier round. We can get into the groove of the game here. No, they're going to sprint at you and make it uncomfortable. So losing Stanislaw early on has put them to a bit more of a fragmented position in terms of the setup for the T's. Bomb on the back and starting to make its move up towards apartments. You're going for that contact play out towards B. You've got a bit of a rotation cut off round towards connector as well from JBA. He's going to be playing for the audio here.
Even with that first pick, because BESTIA still know that they are second best in terms of firepower, they're not trying to brute force their way in. They're trying to finesse this one. The smoke gets cleared and Infinite up to the task, clears out his angles, and Tom is in sent packing. 35 seconds left. There's a rotation though. Mayon wrapping all the way around the back. The Argentinian wants to try and find a couple of kills and may find one right now, and it's Infinite that goes down.
They've quickly scurried their way over towards the A site, knowing there's now a gap, and they hard commit on the bold plant for short. Deco's there, but he's caught off by Slight. If he extends round the corner, he'll be slain. The rest of the CT's grouping up back round towards spawn side, and you've got the one late flank. Mayhem, he was in T-spawn. They were aware of this. Sonic tries to take deep control back towards T, but he posts himself up in Palace, and they're bleeding out onto the bomb site already.
Yeah, they know they have to pick up the pace right now because of the lack of kits. But Sonic and Slight going to be punishing this. I don't think it's time anyway. They need to get this kill onto Sonic Luchov. Removing the head, Molotov down, and that should be the W. And indeed it will. Wildcard will pick up a 2-0. It's a great cost. They lose 4 plays in the process, and 2 safe Galils will come out of this round. So BESTIA, although they concede the round, they're putting the pressure on.
You force out the rebuys. Don't let them snowball any cash. Make it uncomfortable for Wildcard. Also, it's one of many potential mid-pushes we're going to be seeing over the course of this opening first half. And the fact they've done it so early, already for Wildcard, now you're thinking, right, we can't just wide swing on it. We've got to wait a little bit, use some extra utility. It already kind of gets that worm in your brain.
They don't fully invest behind those 2 Galils either. It's just Deagles and a P250. So keeping their options available for round 4. Boosting up into the window as well. Stanislaw, of course, a player with tons of history in the game. Previously at teams like ODDIK, of course. He's been around the block many a time. Oh my goodness. The 2 Galils in tandem just tear through connector.
This is rough, mate. Already things are starting to unravel. With the corner of the smoke, though, breaking it down and finding opportunities to strike. Infinite with a fast click back up and even a further tag onto Thomasin. This buys him a little bit more time now to have some confidence. See if you can punch in those digits, get the bomb down. Thomasin, not held back by the opening damage, walks upstairs, but his teammate Indeko is down for the count. So 1 versus 2 where they're playing to support each other. And Thomasin's realizing this one slipping out of his hands, can't find an angle to fight for it.
He desperately wants a pixel to try and execute off and decides to get aggressive. He's seen the trajectory of that. Oh, so close to transferring for a second. He saw the grenade up and over and knew he had a chance to pivot in. But again, it's Wildcard taking the round at great cost. And that wasn't a fully invested round either. They have enough funds to go in for another buy.
They're doing it with the tools from the backyard shed. Stolen weapons, inflicting a lot of damage. So they're getting these bomb plants, they're getting these rounds, but like you say, they're losing so much money. For Thomasin as well, close to the sun to actually getting that one. I believe it was 6 HP that he had left to withstand the test and get the 3rd round for Wildcard.
Flash is out behind the smoke. They'll use that as a shield to get across to the mid boxes. You did highlight before, Jackie, that BESTIA are very happy to go for these mid pushes. This one's going to end in a bit of a stalemate, though. Neither team succumbing to the early pressure. The AWP from Noxy had quite a bit of impact yesterday against Liquid with this very weapon, but it was Cadian that won out on most of those trades.
Noxy. Give him opportunities, he will absolutely thrive in them. Very good defensive AWPer. If he can post up on an angle, he will cause issues. At the minute, he's playing back towards Ticket Booth, taking a fight down towards Connector, but he's in a prime position to unleash hell against Wildcard when they go for this late play towards the A site.
You talk about unleashing. Luchov yesterday was a man possessed on Banana, so aggressive on both CT and T sides. Now perched up on the stairway, wide swings in for a second, and Noxy, he said give him a chance and he'll snatch you away, and he's done just that in this round, and that is so much better from the Argentinians. Take the round losing just 1 player, and now Wildcard are broken.
I think they thought they had completely isolated him as well. First it was the pop flash, so he falls off a Ticket Booth. They get contact visually onto him, but he's smoked off. They expect him to give it up, play a little bit safer, wait for the rotations, the smokes to fade. Instead, they just barrel in, gets out through triple, and causes so many problems with the AWP. That's the power of Noxy in a game like this. But yeah, man, money's just completely in the bin, right? You've lost so many players into these rounds that you just don't have the extra funds to work with. So you're down to Tech 9s, couple P250s. You got a couple bits in terms of the utility, but how do you actually activate it? And Thomasin keeping him guessing in terms of his positioning towards Sandwich.
Yeah, and having CT control as well is going to be huge to his prospects here. There's one. They're just lining up. He can go ahead for that reload as well, knowing that his back is covered. Extremities are on lock. Luchov with 2. And Sonic sent packing with his P250. A real need to get too aggressive here, but BESTIA feeling like it's within the realms of possibility to get this one secured as fast as possible. And overextending like that's going to give Sonic at least 1 kill, but it will be a 1 and done. And that's an acceptable loss as far as BESTIA are concerned, because they've repelled that force buy. Now it's into an eco, and a perfect chance for them to equalize at 3 apiece.
I was up against a far weakened Wildcard in terms of the cash. You get another one for free. That's just how much damage was done to that T-side bank. No additional benefit here either, of course. Everyone below 2K across the board nearly, so you can't afford to even invest into the P250s or a flashbang to set you up. It's just going to be a bone-dry play. Default a little bit, take some time to talk, figure out what you want to do going into the buy. Hope maybe the Glocks find 1, 2 kills at best.
A laboured spray from Deco, but still gets the job done. Oh, Galil. It's a target-rich environment. They managed to sneak the bomb plant down, though. I mean, that's mission accomplished, honestly.
That's quite nice, actually. It was sort of like a remix on the old Enemy Down You create so much carnage towards the B site, send the player in with the bombs, get the plant down towards the A site. It's fair enough. They needed money, they get cash.
Injection of finances will yield them an open to the next round should they choose to use it.
Ooh. Hello.
Well then. Yeah, I'm down for it, man. Like, this is an important game.
Oh, yeah.
You're eyeing up a 0-2 and no chance at the major. Now is the time to get hyped. Now is the time to show your emotion and the passion.
Everything you've got, unleash it on the server. Make history here. Noxy already repositioning as well. He's been towards the A site. The Molotov burning him off the back of the bumper, so he's got to stand on the elevated angle on top of the roof itself. Attempting to get a bit more aggressive now, and the timing pays off. Hits that one onto slight. Reposition from Infinite is good. Looked like he was going to be able to double up, but he goes down.
Oh, man. Deco caught with a grenade out there. I don't know why he's not throwing it earlier. Either way, though, they're going to get the backstab in. And Stanislaw claw to the back, shanking the blades of Thomasin. And now the advantage goes in favor of the T's, but they're out in the open. They're getting picked off one by one. Down into a 1v1 trade. It's 11-3 Luchov against a 1-6 Stanislaw. His only kill in this round, but no information for Luchov and tons of time, but he does have control over the bomb.
It's the one factor that he can play off of here. He was paranoid about short. Stanislaw's walking in, crouched up, ready for the contact face. He should expose himself. If he steps over the boundary, you're going to see his back. Instead, opts to peek from the window itself. Doesn't want to give the audio cue away. Sees a little bit of shoulder, slow on the react. Stanislaw with a headshot. His first two frags, they have some huge impact. Not only that, he gets the AWP to save for his team as well, and they erupt.
Understandably so, man, but that's a bit of a strange reaction at the end, isn't it, Jackie? I mean, it seemed like he just didn't fully comprehend what happened. Like, he saw Stanislaw, was so slow, though. It's strange, because Luchov he's been playing lights out so far. He's been the highlight of both teams.
And he normally is that very sort of reactive, kind of flicky player, right? Where he hits those ones. So, yeah, he did feel like he was sleeping at the wheel a little bit. Not ideal for him. Gives Wildcard away back into the game on the T side. So one round up at this point. They've been going for these A takes. This time it's basically just Luchov with a late rotate in from Noxy playing towards the stairs on the AWP. Won't be as effective, and Mayon is silenced as well.
Oh, Noxy. Looked like it was on. Not sure how much they're going to get punished for this one, though. The hemorrhaging players. Luchov down to 12. And although Infinite's took the brunt of the damage, the strength in numbers for the T's here. Luchov stuck at the back of the CT boxes, doesn't want to take a stray bullet through there or he'll be a goner. Flashbang up and over onto Sandwich, and now Thomas in. Going to go in for a quick peek, but spots nothing. And there's going to be no retreat, no surrender. And Stanislaw's coming in from connector, but they're going to pass each other. They have no idea about this.
Oh, mate. Oh, it's awkward, Vince. It's really awkward. He gets past him in the smoke. I mean, for Thomasin, you're going to count your blessings, right? You're at least able to get away with a weapon. God damn. Oh. Send shivers down you, that one. It's a bit awkward.
A Wildcard will be off to a 5-3 lead. And BESTIA have had chances. I mean, I find myself saying the same thing as yesterday against Liquid. It's like they've had multiple opportunities to extend their lead, but they've just not quite been on point to deliver. But we said we wanted to see a better performance from Wildcard. We wanted to see what these guys are actually capable of. And I think we're seeing glimpses now. We're actually seeing them arrive the way we expected yesterday. That's a cute little teddy bear that he's got there on his desk.
It is fun. We've seen a lot of different talismans from players over all of the RMRs. I think my personal favorite was the fact that Snacks literally just brought an apple. Massive apple from the hotel breakfast. Yeah. I saw some people were confused by it as well. Didn't know the history of it.
Yeah, how to tell me that you need to Counter-Strike without telling me you need to Counter-Strike. Yeah.
Why Snacks got an apple?
Oh, he just loves fruit, mate. He just loves them.
It would have been banter if he got a clutch, takes a bite out of it halfway through, you know?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, some of the greatest gifts from Counter-Strike are from him, right?
Oh,
I remember the Chef's Kiss one.
Yeah.
He's a very emotive player.
Knows how to play up to the camera.
Oh, 100%. Wildcard. we said, like, listen, Mirage has to be theirs, right? Like, you look at the next two maps, Anubis, Inferno. This is the map that Wildcard needs to pull on their choice. This was their pick starting on the T side. Mollied out early doors, but they're going to get aggressive behind the flash. They take 2 stray bullets, and Stanislaw drops to 20.
That is not the best trade in the world. You can have mid control, but we're going to take all of your health away. Response with a nade here on the contact peak round from Infinite. It goes wide, won't connect. Thomason's able to back off, play underneath the window with support of Deco on short, and the T's don't feel too comfortable after the initial pressure applied on B.
For all the chances that BESTIA have had, these are the kind of opportunities that you need to grab with both hands. They've been so close and yet so far, so many times in RMRs. Oh, Thomas is going to get caught here. The Shadow's going to betray him. Oh, the even comfortable, clean frags from JBA sends this round just out of control.
A lot of damage, but you've got to actually convert those into kills now. Mayan plays his card, but it's down to Noxy to defend. He is the stalwart defensive B. Finds the flick down onto the headshot of Stanislaw. At least hits that one. But everyone else comes running out at the same time. For Mayan, the opportunity in the round is dead and gone. Wildcard leading by 3 rounds now, Vince. And that was an uncomfortable start.
Yeah, Stanislaw took the bullet through the smoke to the dome, dropped to 20. I believe it was also JBA through a middle that got wrecked as well through a smoke of his own. So the fact that they were able to make moves into ladder room, JBA gets 2 from that position and a 3rd in the round overall is impressive. But on the other side, you're looking at BESTIA and you're thinking, guys, like you actually made inroads for yourself. You created vulnerabilities and softened targets and didn't really do anything with it at all. Additionally, like, where are the mid pushes? Where's the aggression through, like, Palace and Main? It feels like they're giving a lot of respect across the Wildcard here.
Which is really odd compared to their usual playstyle. In these sort of scenarios, it's where they would do it even more and kind of double down, right? It's what we've seen in the past, but losing a little bit of faith in potentially some of those plays, trying to set themselves up in more reserved angles. Rough as well. You think about how much invested into that round is now just left cold on the ground off the back of the plays. So fair enough. Take the tactical pause. 2nd of the 3 already used over the course of the 10 rounds.
Yeah, definitely an understandable decision, especially as their money is also in a bit of a weird spot. Main has the M4, but then you have Noxy, could maybe go for like a glass cannon. Luchov could force out. Thomasin and Deco would be down to Deagles, maybe 5.7s, MP9s. Definitely not an ideal situation to find yourself in if you're BESTIA here, 3-6 down. They're going to drop the M4 across. Luchov has bought behind it. They are going to go in for the full purchase. They can manage to wiggle around 4 primaries. You could argue the MP9 is a primary as well. In the right hands, it can shred, absolutely. So a better buy than I was anticipating, but it is at the cost of some utility. So BESTIA have gone all in here. They've put their chips on the table. They said, right, we believe in ourselves. You've got to get results from here on out, though. Otherwise, this could easily be a 9-3 half.
Ideally, you do want to try and get all 3 of them. You're absolutely right. Come out swinging now, completely flip the script of the game going into that 2nd half and give yourself a level fight. This isn't going to be a level fight at all, though. Down towards the ramp, if Luchov overextended from the boundary, Sonic was playing on the top rope, would have been ready for him. He jumps up, so his feet won't be seen. When we get those for free, but the headshot, that connects.
Shot missing as well, so they can't even the odds. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of an off angle, isn't it? A lot of teams will go in there without flash peeking in. So credit to Wildcard for making sure that all their angles were covered. A lot of damage across the Infinite as well, gets forced back.
"40 seconds on the clock now. JBA, he's made his way down middle. But this is the important piece of the puzzle. Thomasin, depending on the timing, he could have so much impact here. starts running towards the door. Sonic peeks into it, hits the headshot. Bomb is now on rotation in towards the B site. You've got top mid covered as well, and the late lurk from Infinite pays off. Noxie's been in this position time and time again. This time, can he change fate?
Oh, missing that second shot's going to cost him his life. Yeah, I think Thomasin is tilted off the face of the earth at this point, because the second he starts to run, he gets wide swung, insta-killed. The audio giving him away from a good 5 or 10 meters. Well, I think what he was trying to do is to wrap around quickly. They may have anticipated it could have been a call. I'm not sure what the comms were like, but it seemed to me that they assumed it was going to be an A hit, and he wanted to quickly wrap around the back of them and shut it down before it got started. It's easy, the hindsight and benefit of us seeing, you know, all the moving pieces. From his perspective, though, that's got to be so annoying, because he made every decision correctly. And you nailed it, Jackie. Like, there's another world in which he plays that slow, they gets wide swung, sprays down, bomb gets dropped, and he's in a position where he can just win the round. Didn't quite work out that way, though.
Yeah, could have slowed down the push so much more for B as well. It sets up Noxie. Doesn't work out, though. Trying to keep themselves focused, fist bumps come out. And the limited aggression that we have seen, that's not been working for them. Whereas it's Wildcard, they're getting more and more confident in their T side now. Being vocal. Commanding respect in this game. Round 11, it's so broken for the CT side as well. Deco's the only one with a hero rifle, everyone else just on the pistols and utility.
It is great to see, though, that Wildcard not completely deterred after that very rough performance yesterday against the Red Canids. Just came straight back in, utmost faith in their own abilities, showing us why they're a team that a lot of people had expectations of. I mentioned before, like, some people were telling me that this is a dark horse pick right here to make the RMRs. The flash is good, but Stanislaw not punished.
They're giving Noxie opportunities to peek. You do not want to give that man a chance. He strikes with a deagle, rips off the head. Luchov, good for 2 as well, and it's all down to Stanislaw. But the judge himself brings down the gavel, and Luchov's law is what wins them this round.
Luchov is lawless in terms of having 14 kills right now in a team that is losing pretty handily, 7-4, 14 frags. Man, the guy is just fragging out of his mind. Had the off-angle peek, the second 5-7 headshot is crisp, and then trades across to that AK. Now, the thing is, though, Jack, even though they may end up losing this half 8-4, Luchov is a T-side player, and he is feeling it right now. So that could be a big part looking forward to that second half.
Oh, yeah, you just keep feeling the hot hand of Luchov. Let him play a lights-out performance on the T side. There's definitely a way back into things here. Keep in mind as well, for anyone just tuning in, this is an elimination, best of 3. Oh, he's headed it. He's taken it right on the nose, Vince. He has no nose. It's gone.
Unfortunately, he still stands with 49 HP. I thought for a second he was trying to shoot the nade. That would have been sick if he could just somehow shoot the nade out of thin air. Not quite possible in CS, unfortunately.
I think technically if you threw the gun at it, it would bounce it back.
Possible.
That's the interaction that could have been the timeline. But instead, he's noseless.
Oh, Luchov. There's the first spray. Try and play anti-flash. Was anticipating the flash was coming, but it wasn't. Oh, Noxie's missed another shot. Does land the second one. It's been feast or famine for this man. But now he's gone down, and Sonic's got 2 out of nowhere. Pivots in through jungle. There's another one to add to Sonic's repertoire, but finally he will fall down to the hands of Thomasin. But the wide swing orb from Slight secures the 8-4 half.
That's madness. That round was just so aggressive towards the end. The quick trades back of 3 kills in succession from Sonic, 2 kills back. Finally closed out by the orb. Overall, brilliant half from Wildcard. They'll be taking that one to the bank with how things went. For BESTIA, though, what have you got in store for us on that T side? That's the big questions where we know they're at their best in terms of the overall play. Communication across from the teammates as well, bit of typing going on, trying to get all of themselves level-headed. Yes, it's
been a bit of an awkward run from Noxie's perspective, man. I mean, he's landed, it feels like he's missing the first shot, but always hitting the second one. The problem here is he had a flashbang lined up, and that's why Luchov was playing anti-flash, but the flash came like 3 seconds too late. So I'm not sure if the comms are off, if Luchov maybe wasn't on the same script as you know, the flash coming in from Noxie, but the end result is that he's basically left by himself to fend off against 3 oncoming Ts. That's all in the past, though. In the here and now, BESTIA find themselves on the T side, 4 rounds behind, and they could be walking into the Julie's range here. Slight has them posted up on the balcony.
They've got so much control from pushing out B already that they know this is going to be the play towards the A side. They can just wait to strike. The Julies from Slight are causing problems up on the elevated angle, but it's Infinite that deals with them down low to the ground. Deco in a 1v2. He isn't going to be aware about this fast flank either. Sonic has been so speedy on this one, and he's already coming up ramp.
Not quite fast enough this time, though. Still stuck on the ramp side. Flashbang. Oh, the follow-up damage, and that's Julie's at range as well. The South African Sonic is having no chill, no survivors. He's taking no prisoners. Wildcard double up their pistols. 9-4 in the lead right now, but the post plant does afford luxuries. It affords a couple of options for BESTIA. Man, you're seeing a reinvigorated Wildcard from yesterday. Like, this is a very different look.
It is, man. It's one of those as well, you know, where you look at things, you think for BESTIA coming into it, they had the huddle, it looked like everyone was trying to really get themselves zoned in. For Wildcard, they were sat in the chairs, ready to play. Everyone's just absolutely coming out, swinging in terms of the game. When they've had reasons to get vocal as well, they have been. And we said, overall, when you look at it for what it was with the veto, this is a series really where Wildcard needs to come out swinging from Mirage, bleed that into the second map, and try and close things down as much as possible.
And we've been talking about some hype plays over duration, and looking at the reaction, Slight seems to be like one of the hypest out there. Like every round, he's pumping fists, he's screaming. I'm not sure if I read it wrong, but it almost felt like at the end of the half, he was shouting at the opposition, almost like Stanislaw gave him like that parental look, like settle down, calm down now, it's fine.
Don't take it too far now.
Yeah. You've had your fun.
Come on, your hand back on the mouse. God damn,
we've got a game to win.
And that really is the focus they're going to be keeping their eyes firmly peeled on. It's 9-4. There's the investment back from BESTIA. Galil's across the board with 2 smokes and a single HE. Meanwhile, Wildcard, they're armed to the teeth. The Warlords, the CT side, are ready for the clash.
Well, unfortunately, you'll be bereft of any Kalashnikovs in this round. BESTIA with the Galils. 35 bullets apiece. Tons of bullets available to the Argentinians. But it's the utility or lack thereof that could be a problem. Oh, that smoke. Not ideal at all, is it?
Put an afro on it. Oh, but there has been a response straight back onto Slight on the overextension from Connector. Sonic, though, is the bait and switch. Back turns, burns his way through 2. That's another hat trick into the round for him.
He's really providing the death right now across, and the misery and the destruction across the BESTIA. Coming into this tournament, Sonic was on I think it was a 1.25 rating, if I'm not mistaken. He was very high up there in terms of the performances. So much so that some people were saying that he himself could very well carry Wildcard across the RMRs. And although we didn't see that yesterday, today we're seeing glimpses. We're seeing what people are talking about. It feels like he's been consistently getting multi-frags round after round, whether it be the T or CT round half.
That blue hedgehog has still got some fight left in him. Round 15 then. It's still so broken. Wildcard have every advantage into these fights. For BESTIA, what do you get done here with the pistols? How'd you play off the back of the hero AK on Thomasin and attempt to activate him to actually find a round win on this one? Because you don't want to let it slip by. It'd be an 11 for Wildcard. They'd be set up to close it down on the first map. And Infinite, he's got confidence.
Very aggressive, but it could end up being too much. 3 kills! They just line up. Just had to hold left click. And the A1S did the rest of the work for him. Although there's an AK and M4 in play, it's so much cost to the health and the players of BESTIA probably doesn't really matter a great deal. That rating I was talking about is the previous games coming into this tournament was where Sonic has really been setting the scoreboard alight. Often with Infinite, the two of them have been in tandem, just destroying teams. And although Infinite may be on the bench momentarily, you'd assume that the rest of his teammates are going to pick this one up. It's down to Sonic, may have missed his chance to start off with, but he's weakened up Thomasin, and he has backup from the MP9 of JBA. It's about to rip through some of these players. There's the first. Thomasin was weakened by Mayan. And this round is going to come to an abrupt end. The question is, who is going to claim this last frag? And rotation and play around the back, Jackie. This is GG for this round, and potentially the map as well.
Of how it's going right now, it certainly feels that way. Wildcard have been relatively untouchable in a lot of these situations. They're dialed in as well, knowing that at this point they just want to close things out on Mirage, move on to the second in the series and keep the battle going there. BESTIA glancing over at the notes, the preparation going into this first map. It's been so hard for them to really find any kind of footing with the weaponry they've had to play with. AK's at least back out this time. Could be a bit of a quicker play towards B, but this is going to cap them off. Stanislav's already down towards the underpass, listening out for this, and can already be the fast flank.
Yeah, he's definitely hearing a lot of information right now. The problem is, though, although they've heard all this intel, there's effectively only one player on the site. He's already been dealt with. Now they have to try and deal with Infinite, though. He's used that smoke as a bit of sanctuary, but Echo doesn't care too much. Deals with him anyway. Stanislaw now on that fast flank. They're not going to anticipate he's here this quickly. And the FAMAS spraying down onto Noxy now gives him a different avenue of re-aggression. It's going to play hell with the trifecta of BESTIA players that are on the site. Someone's going to have to watch the apps and that affords safe passage through the likes of Short or maybe on Kitchen side. Deco now moves back onto the truck, and Thomas in close range deals with JBA. Very important kill.
Posturing off now to just play for the exits. Wanting to defend when they try and find their way out the site. Slight focusing on just keeping the AWP in play for the CT side as well. Doesn't want to drop that one. But the round, at least for now, goes the way of the T side, getting them back. Another step up the ladder. Far, far away from being able to tie this one up, though. Seems like we've had one player disconnect as well for the BESTIA roster. So we will take a bit of a pause on this one, get things sorted out server side, getting back in the action.
There's the brains behind the operation, Stanislaw. As you highlighted, Jackie, we have had a DC. So, 5-11 the score. I've been a bit surprised, I've got to say. I didn't necessarily discount Wildcard from bouncing back and kind of having a bit of a vengeance here, but BESTIA have been quite quiet. I'm surprised at how flat they've been considering some of the performances that we've seen coming into this one.
Yeah, it is interesting. Even just thinking back to the veto as well, the fact that Mirage was brought to the table, it's usually Wildcard's primary ban, but 45% first ban rate. So the fact that it's here and they're absolutely playing lights out on it is going to do wonders for them in the grand scheme of things. Leaves a curious mind of how the overall game is going to go, though. The entire series, of course, is still very early. Even once we finish off Mirage, there's a lot more to be said and done before we talk about elimination between either of these two teams. Full execute out towards the A site, straight back into it off the back of the pause, though. They want to catch him off guard with the timing and try and go in quickly, but Slight is that little bit faster. Strikes through Thomasin, breaks the smoke for the reshot, but doesn't connect that one.
Very nearly just grazing by. Would have heard the bullet whizzing through the air past the head. And Luchov up close. We said he's a T-sided player. Needs to start having that impact we've been waiting for. Out in the open, is able to scamper away from the toll booth. Not paying the full price. Slight, in the meanwhile, gets bested by Noxy. And Deco's keeping this round alive with Mayan alongside him. Deco, 2 HP to his name, but can keep position on the back of the site and play hell with his retake prospects. The frag's going back and forth, but it's going to favor BESTIA, who come out with Noxy and Mayan alive. And more importantly, a 6th round.
Starting to get a little bit more shades of 9Z in terms of the way the T side's playing now as well, where it would always just be, as soon as things start to go wrong on the T side, you just default into giving up mid control and just playing for the fast takes, alternating between A and B. It was kind of their bread and butter. You'd seen it a lot in RMRs before. Some similar names here, of course. Going back to that different style of winning the gunfights. Obviously, how many times you're going to be able to do that without any mistakes, so that's the question. It's going to be a really hard game in terms of the scoreline Wildcard have already built up, but at least you get the added benefit of breaking their bank for the first time into the second half. You should be able to find your way to 7 here, as long as things don't go awry.
Oh, Infinite tagged down to 31 HP. There is a golden ticket back in here. I mean, BESTIA have been up against it, make no mistake, but this next rifle round is going to be on the horizon into round 19. If they can win that, you're looking at a potential 11-9 scoreline, 11-10 perhaps. That's where BESTIA start to pick up a little bit of speed. It's been a bit of a collective effort as well in terms of the fragging. It's been quite top-heavy on the side of Wildcard. You've seen Sonic, Infinite. Apart from Deco, everybody is double digits or higher on the T's, and Luchov now making moves slowly but surely up on middle side. This B site seems to be where they're going to aggress into, and it would just be Infinite on low HP that stands against them. Looks like a pretty straightforward anti-eco bash upcoming.
Can that USP sing, or will it be instant deafening for Infinite? First 2 frags have found low HP on a couple of the players. Don't give up any of the weapons. They're taking peeks off each other's contact to keep it as clean as possible. And you've still got all 5 of the T's alive. It's just Slight that remains for Wildcard, looking to deal damage to the bank of the T side at this point. Noxy on the jump up, spots him. Doesn't fancy this one. You're going to be peeking straight into the scope, and he's dropped.
I think he may have been trying to play with the time and see if the bomb could maybe detonate a couple of players, but it was always going to be an arduous task. And now Wildcard will be calling the timeout. They know the importance of not allowing BESTIA a chance to slither their way back into this. And they are. They're getting there. Slowly, but they're getting there surely. And Wildcard have reached that point of critical mass now where they realize it. Infinite's had a stellar performance. 112 ADR to his name.
Infinite and Sonic doing an awful lot of fancy footwork. Stanislaw as well had an important clutch round back towards the early portion of the game. Slight and JB8 both piping up when necessary. And it is funny how it does kind of seem like BESTIA, like you said, going into this one. Whenever it's an easier round that kind of should be there, it feels like it just disappears. When it's the hard ones, that's when they turn up.
Exactly, and that's reflected in the stats that we just saw. Wildcard have 11 rounds. They have 5 opening pick success rates. They've only got the first kill 5 times in 18 rounds, and they still lead 11-7. That shows how many times they're coming back from these deficits, these 5v3s, these 4v2s that we've seen time and time again.
Luchov stationed at top middle with the support of Noxy for the push. They're playing right into the hands of the T side. The flashbang's perfect, but he's mollied out. It's going to take time for the smoke to bloom as well, so this is going to really strip HP off him. Meanwhile, they're just out on the B side. Thomasin has barreled his way in and starts to clash back with the AK. Slays 2 and makes it so much harder for Infinite. He's blind, he's dazed, and he's barely limping away.
Surprised he survived that, honestly, all things considered. But here's the other element of this. The bomb's not even on the B side. It's going through ramp right now. Have BESTIA overthought this? Have they overcomplicated? Because Deco now is stuck alone. He's going to waste a lot of time for this retake. He's going to do damage, but he will effectively put this into an advantageous position for Wildcard in terms of manpower. It's a 3v2 in their favor.
A little bit of double trouble towards CT. Quick peek on the connector, hits the shot, jumps down with the Molotov to block off the angle. If they went through CT, you would have had the rotations cut off by Mayhem, but they realized it's just not worth it at this point. A 2v2 where weapons would be lost, so they fall back for the save, knowing they've got a buffer with the safety net of rounds they built in this game so far. BESTIA cooking together another one then. They move their way up towards 8.
Saw a shot of Warden there in the background as well from Stanislaw's perspective with his head on his hands. He's feeling the pressure. He's feeling that this is a round that was just a little bit of a a mess, honestly. I mean, Thomasin solo pushes outside of B main, gets the pick out of nowhere. That must have been like a proper jump scare here from Slight's perspective. Gets a second. But the fact that went down into a 3-on-2, that in itself may spell a little bit of problems on the T side of things as well for Bestia. They got the job done. That's all that matters ultimately at the end of the day. But it is 2 save weapons. So it's not as straightforward as Bestia were probably hoping for. And they will call a 3rd tactical timeout as a result of that.
I will say as well, it's something that's really interesting. Thomasin's pathing on a lot of these peaks, you'll see whenever he has an opportunity to kind of hit his head to go for fast peaks off the back of jumps, he'll go for it. It speeds up that timing where you don't hang in the air for as long. So if you're coming out through apps, when you jump towards the window, you hit your head off it, you fall straight down rather than hanging in the air for a bit. It makes it so much quicker for him to take those fights. And it's caught them off guard a couple of times with some of the peaks. So individually, the mechanics of Thomasin really shining through in some of these rounds, Vince.
Yeah, exactly, because the accuracy when you're in midair is garbage. As soon as your feet hit the floor, that's when the accuracy resets. So, yeah, it's a really cool point to raise. And a big reason as to why he's been getting a lot of these fast, rapid opening picks. And as we've been discussing, that stat heavily favors Bestia, even though they're behind by 3 rounds. If they can start to convert some of those opening picks, that's where this is going to get very interesting. In fact, screw that. It already is interesting, Jackie. We've already hit that point where this game is well and truly back on.
Oh, it's a 6 series, man. Both of these teams really want to fight for that spot towards Copenhagen, want to give the best display of both sides. And you're seeing that now. Game's coming alive on Mirage. We know these are 2 teams that are fairly level in terms of the overall competition. How far does it go, though? Will Wildcard close it? Can BESTIA keep pushing their way back in? Early Molotov will force Slight out of position. JBA's just jump spotting for the contact on ramp, but his teammate's already been sold down the river.
They still maintain both the rifles, though. And as long as those rifles are alive, the dream still lives. And Stanislaw, besting Mayan, shuts down the initial aggressive charge. There is a flank contingent, though, in play. Deco is slowly moving his way outside of apps. And that's given the call that site is likely clear and they're sending the bomb. What are they? Oh no, they're second-guessing themselves again, Jackie.
Oh my. They're hoping that they're going to believe this is the B play. Think they've cut noise for long enough that they'll rotate off. Thomasin's got to get this one frag and he's got to do it quickly. Goes down to the 5-7. There's a trade back from Luchov, sure, but they've not got far enough away. You've still got Stanislaw in position causing problems as he strikes with a rifle and they've overcooked it. They put far too much stock on this one, expecting to rotate, and no one's bit down.
Oh dear, oh dear. We said in that previous round that maybe Bestia were over-egging the pudding, as it were. They were overthinking matters, trying too much. This time it's cost them. It is that lightning fast 5-7 frag in Palace, though, that kind of secured the deal. If that goes the opposite direction, who knows? But there was always going to be one of those angles that got unchecked, and it ended up being Shadow. Really good round from Stanislaw, though. One of those 2 save rifles, the AK, is going to punish the oncoming Ts, and our Bestia have to win 4 back-to-back rounds to take us to OT.
What if they kept hitting up their sleeves to pull out in a round like this? Early on, Luchov throws out the Molotov, picks up the dropped one from Noxy so he can re-molly when the time is right. A lot of pressure being applied with the utility. You instantly bombard nades down towards B, trying to make them think it'll be a bit of a pacier play, and that's drawn the rotation from Slight.
Echo has early information through on the underpass side. He can wrap back up into connector. I haven't really seen a lot of mid-play so far. It's typically been on the extremities of the map, through on the ramp or the B-apps. It's not they haven't tried, it's that they've just typically been forced back, especially Luchov. We've seen him at the top boxes multiple times. Smoke now connecting onto the connector side. Can look in for that bench peek and potential window push. Wildcard will be privy to this information. And they're making a lot of noise out on Con as well.
Oh, he walks his way in through the smoke. The Molotov barely blocking out the headshots, but they don't realize it was all a bait and switch for Sonic to strike from the side. The defender upstairs, and he knows where Noxy is. Consistently unloads, nearly finds the flick on the turn as well, but they at least equalize, bringing it down to a 2v2.
And if he connected that flick shot, I think I would have lost my mind. 30 seconds left, bomb now getting planted down. Slight try as he made to deny that bomb plant. It's just given his position away and gets neutralized through the smoke. Main obliges him, pushes him into his demise. Off his mortal coil, he will fall. Now Infinite looking for an exit frag. If he is gift wrapped this kill, he can try and go in for the retake. He's got the kit, he's got the flash, but he's setting more up for exit kills at this stage. It's kind of, he's dipping his toe in the pool, he's seeing what the temperature's like, and he says, it's too cold, I'm out of here, let me save this up real quick. It does mean that BESTIA are going to bridge the gap one round and have 3 more to go. And I think you're spot on, by the way, Jackie. I think Stanislaw literally just sacrificed himself to the CS gods. He's like, if I push out connector and I get a kill, I get information, awesome. If not, they definitely don't expect Sonic to also be there. And they ran straight into the trap.
Yeah, you're going to think that's it. Connector's open, you just run your way in towards the site. Played really nicely. A lot of the setups where you see the buddy system from Wildcard has been on point. And Sonic, I mean, it helps that he's just been hitting his shots the whole game as well, right? Like, he's actually been a bit of a phenom on the server. It feels hard to kind of pinpoint where he's going to be and how he's just hitting a lot of these shots.
I think it's credit as well to BESTIA, though, that you have players like Sonic that are just firing on all cylinders, just landing crazy shots and then flicking around and nearly 180ing, insta-headshotting a second player. And you're still in this game. You're still hanging by a thread, but you're still in this. These are the kind of individual performances that typically just take over a game and shut it down the way that Sonic is playing. And the Argentinians, they're still standing proud. They're still delivering.
That's what we said, man. They hate the easy ones. They love the hard rounds. Whenever there's something to play for, that's when they give you their absolute best. And they're definitely turning up right now. Wildcard. Whenever there's an issue on CT side Mirage, you can patch it together by buying 2 orbs, and that's the call here. Infinite dons 1, Slight on the 2nd, and they'll be posted up, playing towards opposite sites, B and A. JBA could catch them off guard if Sandwich isn't checked.
Slight has one of those orbs trained onto the CT, or from CT boxes, I should say. These labored sprays not going to work out for the T's, and Slight taking a couple shots on the retreat. Still alive to tell the tale. Grenade damage just chips him down to 67. They have brute forced their way onto the site and have effectively evicted these CTs. They can't go in for the post plant now. Smokes will afford them this luxury. And the problem with the double op setup is it is terrible at retaking. It's great at leading. It's great at getting opening picks and shutting down a round when you're in the lead. When you're behind, though, horrible.
Oh, unless you're given an opportunity. An open door towards jungle, and Slight kicks it down. Sprints into the site with the support of Sonic, and off angle for Thomasin. He's got to find the frags and can't do it. The Sonic boom delivers again, and Wildcard pull it off. The retake works, and they take 13 for the first map.
As you say, man, it's garbage unless you get offered a free kill, and you can bank off the back of that. Well played by Wildcard, but man, I think BESTIA are going to come out of that map again feeling like, guys, we could have potentially won that. Like, we had opportunities. We were losing against Eco.